If Goku had Frieza's potential, would he be on the level of Zeno by the current manga arc? Maybe. Like, we don't know the full extent of Zeno's power besides the whole universal annihilation thing. But what I can say is, think about the total amount of time Frieza's trained. The amount of time, the couple months for Resurrection F, the few months he trained mentally in Hell to grow stronger, up until he got summoned for the Tournament of Power, and the 10 years to acquire Black Frieza. So that's between 11 and 12 years, give or take, of total training for Frieza. Think of it. Goku's been training for way more than a decade. Plus, he would train way more intensely than Frieza, especially because Goku loves pushing himself, trying to see his limits. That's one of his character traits. So, you give him this kind of potential, he's going to strive to see if he has any kind of cap. And if he trains as intensely as he does in the main series, I don't even think it would be that far-fetched of a discussion to say that even by the time Raditz shows up, he'd be like a God Key level fighter. And hell, by the current events of the manga, he'd likely be Angel level in base form. Cause if Frieza can get as strong as he did with 10 years of training to where he can blitz in one shot Ultra Ego Vegeta and True UI Goku effortlessly, and be so confident in not killing them, despite knowing that they could possibly fuse, there's no telling how strong this Goku would be. Like, base form alone, effortlessly surpassing any destroyer, and likely on the level of a full-powered Angel, assuming that he'd actually be able to fight a full-powered Angel. Like, he would hardly ever need to transform. Like, it would take a threat on the caliber of Grand Priest, or just more specifically, a multiversal threat. A threat to reality itself is what would be required to even make this Goku transform. And screw taking 7 years to acquire Super Saiyan 3 in the afterlife, hell, he'd likely get Super Saiyan 2, 3, if he happened to still have his tail, get Super Saiyan 4, likely even before the Frieza arc. And I know that sounds kind of far-fetched, but look how far Frieza went in only a couple months at Resurrection F, with light sparring against someone who wasn't even near his level. And on top of that, could you imagine the type of intense training other characters are going to do to try and at least keep up, despite the fact that it's obviously not going to happen? They're going to train so much more intensely, they're going to have a much stronger training partner in Goku, so who knows how far everyone else is going to grow in strength. Sure, it's not going to be anywhere near at the same rate or at the same caliber as Goku in this hypothetical, but they're going to be significantly ahead of their canon counterparts. Like, no joke, if Goku and Vegeta were to train, I could see for Vegeta to try and keep up with Goku, Goku decides, I'm going to train normally, outside of the time chamber, and Vegeta spends days on end in the time chamber, just so much so like he does in canon, but on a much higher level, and likely even flying so far into the time chamber that it's basically like training in a black hole, because he's just going so far the gravity becomes overwhelming, all just so he can try to catch up to Goku. Meanwhile, those same amount of days outside the time chamber where Vegeta's getting years of training, Goku could realistically just do a couple thousand push-ups and grow just significantly stronger. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you see how fast Frieza grows, that's probably not even an overestimation. The dude could probably just do a bunch of push-ups and grow at least somewhat stronger. So to reiterate, even though we don't know the full extent of Zeno, this version of Goku likely would be nearing that level of power.